Hello YouTube, this is Azrael. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Uh, this is going to conclude the videos on necromancy. Some important advice and tips. First and foremost, uh, because the videos that I did that came in the two-part was quite long for 16 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I am doing a third video with the tips. First, whenever you make an attempt to summon a spirit, no matter what kind of spirit, human, angelic, demonic, elemental, you get the picture. Always give it a license to depart, which is to basically telling it that it can leave or and return to its place of origin. This is important so it don't linger in your house. Especially, this is very important, especially if you are summoning a rebellious spirit. Now, with the ritual that I showed you guys how to do in the previous video, it was geared at ancestral spirits, maybe a mother, grandmother. And you probably don't mind those family members staying around, watching over you. And that's one reason why I forgot to basically tell you this little tidbit of information, which was to, after you ask the questions that you wanted, you tell the spirits you can go back to your, not you, don't give them an option if you don't want them there, because they will take that loophole. Tell them to go back to their origin, where they came from. Now, in this specific case, like if I do this for a relative, like my dad or my mother, I don't mind if they stay in the little shrine or be attached to it, and I'll keep it wherever. So when I do my ritual again, I can address my cycle pump, always do protection, and just place it on the altar and just go and address the spirit. And so I don't have to do every ingredient, and So now, when you give them the license to depart, if you are not intending on keeping the shrine for them, you dismantle and empty the box. So you take out all the ingredients. And of course, you can keep the ingredients, all except for, well, I don't mean all except for, you keep all the ingredients, and you cleanse them before you use them again in another ritual for anything necromantic or whatever. Just cleanse them. Okay. The objects that belonged to the individual does not have to be cleansed. That's who they are. Their body part, hair, or whatever does not have to be cleansed. That's who they are. That energy was there before you did the ritual. You don't need to try to banish it. So if you're keeping relics of the loved one used in the ritual, again, you don't have to cleanse them. But all other ingredients definitely do so. And then after you tell the spirit to get a license to depart, to go back to their origin of where they came from, you cleanse the area of all the energy, okay, by doing a banishing. Pretty much that's it. And you should do this every single time you try to contact another consciousness, regardless if it's a magic ritual or you're using a Ouija board or even automatic writing. Always thank the spirit for coming and then give it a license to depart. Don't get discouraged if the first couple times you do this you don't see anything or you don't experience anything or get no answers. You are the link and you're still developing your skill. However, contact is probably made, even though you might not perceive it. So even if you don't contact the spirit intended, you still thank it for coming and then do your cleansing and move on and try to do it again. However, now, after you do these kind of rituals, especially these kind of rituals, if you don't want to be accidentally woken up in the middle of the night by something beside your bed or anything like that, you want to bring your mind, your brain back to a mundane reality. So you could do that by making yourself a sandwich. You could do that by going outside, taking a walk, or doing something. Okay, you do something non-magical. Bring your brain back to the mundane. So when you go to sleep, it's not turned to that dial. So just in case some other wandering spirit might try to contact you on their own accord, your brain will not be tuned to that frequency, and you won't be startled per se. Okay, so you have the grounding ritual after the banishing and the license to depart. And again, if you don't see anything, understand practice makes perfect, especially with invocation and evocation rituals. They slightly differ from doing things like candle magic or puppet magic, or So again, some tips. Try to get deep for success. Practice makes perfect. Before you start trying to summon a spirit, just try scrying. Get your psychic senses an exercise, and don't do this on a heavy meal either. Do this. Don't be hungry either. Just a light fasting and a light meal will do you good with these kind of rituals. I hope I answered most of your questions on how to perform the ritual and how to close the ritual. All right. We'll be moving on to later on to spirit summoning, which would be probably a little bit more even in depth than this. I don't know, I haven't decided. However, I will be doing videos at least touching base on it so you guys can still learn eventually and piece them together. Okay, so thank you for watching.